There are boss fights, and then there are bosses. The foes listed here didn't just pose a challenge in 2018, they threatened to wipe the floor with us at almost every turn. It's one thing to have a frustrating encounter, but pulling out all the stops and taking them down was a reward unto itself. Inner Agent 3 Splatoon 2 Octo expansion. Accessible only when all 80 challenges and the final event have been cleared in the Octo expansion, Inner Agent 3 challenges you to surpass the hero within. Bombs galore, an infinite ink tank, the ability to fly and bombard you from above, splashdowns with huge impact radius. Inner Agent 3 can do it all, and then some. And make no mistake, all of these attacks hurt. Extreme Behemoth Monster Hunter World. The normal Behemoth fight is tough but doable, even if one insists on soloing it. However, Extreme Behemoth is just torturous. Everything's cranked up to 11. He doles out spells on a much quicker basis, has tons more health, moves much faster, can't be flashed out of spells, and summons Ecliptic Meteor much more frequently. Bring your best team possible because this is a struggle. Sigrun, God of War. With all of the Valkyrie's movesets, Sigrun offers a fairly special challenge. It's not enough that she hits hard or possesses too much health, but just that she has so many different attacks that you should know about. Thus, players will need to draw upon the experience of beating every other Valkyrie, dodging perfectly and striking back when it matters the most. Joe Amon, Yakuza 6. A secret boss battle in Yakuza 6, Joe Amon finally gets his chance to fight Kiryu head-to-head. He doesn't faff around either, striking quickly and effectively from the outset. If you don't know how to counterattack properly, it can be real difficult to progress past the initial onslaught. Once Amon loses a third of his health, he starts calling in drones for disruption and landmines because why not? He also goes into heat mode at half health. If you can beat him on, the payoff is kind of worth it. Cisna Ashen. The final boss of this fun Souls-like title is Cisna, who possesses high damage sweeping attacks from the outset. One of her more devastating attacks is an overhead slam, which also exposes you to her deadly combos. Needless to say, this will kill those who aren't prepared. In the second phase, Cisna emerges as a spider-like thing with tendrils that flail around her wildly, and she unleashes some big attacks. Oh, and she can skitter around the arena quickly like a spider, as if this wasn't all bad enough. Endless Death's Gambit. After the many trials in the game, Death's Gambit sees our hero finally facing Endless. Capable of moving at great speeds and possessing a multitude of attacks, the fight with Endless is made more challenging by the sheer number of phases apparent. Even those who've mastered the idiosyncrasies of combat in Death's Gambit will be pushed to the limit. Humphrey, Ni no Kuni 2 Revenant Kingdom. As the strongest tainted monster, Humphrey is level 90, which means if you don't farm the final story boss, you'll be significantly underleveled here. Fire resistance and stunning Humphrey for extended periods of time is important, especially since one glancing hit can cost a third of your health. Bring plenty of charge meter filling items like a rosehip tart and weapons with A tier charging to keep those high damage stuns going. Riven, Destiny 2 Forsaken. To even attempt to summarize this fight, especially for newcomers, would be an exercise in futility. All you need to know is that it took the top rating groups hours upon hours to defeat Riven at launch. Some even clocked in almost 24 hours total for the entire raid. Even if you get to a high enough power level, learning the mechanics of the fight, these symbol callouts, having coordination with your team, and even journeying to the Ascendant Realm for platforming challenges can be very time consuming. And of course, one mistake means starting over. Torchman, Mega Man 11. Assuming you fight Torchman without his weakness, he possesses a lot of techniques to make life miserable. His kick sends you clear across the screen if you get too close, but that's only one part of the battle. Whether it's dodging the flames from his desperation attack, avoiding his slams, or not getting caught out in the corner, Torchman can be a real doozy of a fight. Malos, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Torna. In the first phase, fighting Malos is a question of having at least 7 orbs and a full chain gauge. The second phase is where things heat up as your chain gauge is replaced with a siren gauge. From there, the battle is all about aggression as you build up enough siren arts to hurt Malos without suffering damage in return. Red Queen's avatar, VAMPYR. Tanky as heck and wielding a variety of attacks, the Red Queen's avatar is such a pain to fight in VAMPYR. This isn't to say she's impossible, but a stringent amount of patience is required as one dodges at the right times, counterattacks, and utilizes special moves accordingly while fending off blood clones. The worst part? Depending on the number of citizens embraced, she can be even tougher. Badeline, Celeste. The perfect combination of personal fight and obstacle course. Damaging Badeline in each section throughout the encounter is difficult due to the sheer platforming challenges. One mistake and you have to restart that section. It also doesn't help that Badeline fires lasers at you as the battle progresses, forcing one to think very carefully about their timing. All Crystal King, Path of Exile Delve. A boss exclusive to Path of Exile's Delve League, All's difficulty depends on which level you find him in the mines. That being said, his rarity meant several players, including those who had made more than 20 characters throughout the league's duration, didn't find him till much later, and that too in the deeper levels. All's strength is amplified based on the modifiers of that level, so it wasn't impossible for him to move at incredible speeds and one-shot expert players. Then there's all the mechanical nuances to be learned, from not damaging the crystal cocoons to fighting in the darkness for the second phase.
And that wraps it up. If you like what we're doing, please consider subscribing to our channel. We upload new videos daily, so make sure you don't miss them by subscribing.